All right, team. So here's the little Q&A, and I'm just going to give a disclaimer. Wendy and I know each other. We've talked a lot. We've spent a lot of time together. So I'm going to coach her up the way I would coach you up because I guarantee almost every one of you can sort of like relate to this, right? So you ready, Wendy?
Yep.
So you made 12 calls, but only one person answered. Who was that person and what happened on that call?
So the person that answered, I honestly can't remember her name right now, but she is, we'll just call her Cindy.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go, Diana.
She has, she's found me 3 different times, which is interesting. She found
Okay.
me and reached out earlier this summer, looking for a place for her son for a
Via
rental.
what? She came from the internet?
She came from the internet. Yeah.
Okay. So you got an internet lead, and then she kept coming back and back. And today you
Yeah,
had her
so
on your call
then
list.
then I started a Friends of Clark Facebook
Okay.
page, which is the area that I live in Colorado.
Okay.
And then she reached out to me on that with the
Let's
same
go.
question. So then we realized we're the same person. And then just a couple days ago, she was on my website and she signed up for my website and she
Let's
asked the
go.
question. And then afterwards she said, "Oh, I realize what Wendy this is. I'm sorry to, I've already asked you this question." So I had sent her a listing that I saw the other day of somebody who was doing a rental in Clark
Yep.
just on a Facebook page. So I sent it to her. It was too expensive
Yep.
for her son. So, and I had said, well, maybe a roommate, would that work? And she's told me today when I got on the phone with her that he has a dog that is a rescue that is not really that friendly. So he doesn't want to have a roommate because of
Yeah.
dog. So
Yep.
that was the conversation I had with her on the phone. I thought about maybe asking her if she wanted to meet up for coffee, but I feel so bad and I don't know when I'm going to feel good. But I
Yeah.
didn't want to
Okay.
go there.
Cool. So tons to unpack there, everybody. And I want to point out like a few things here. And I'd say I'll probably go in reverse order, Wendy,
Right.
in terms of what I want to point out for everybody. First off, you can set an appointment for like as long out as you manage your calendar effectively anytime you want, because once it goes on your calendar, then at least you have something, and then you can adjust if needed, right?
Mhm.
For the average person, and I'm not suggesting any of you are average, you're all above average, likely to be above average, at least in your professional career, but for the average person, most people can think like 2 to 3 weeks out.
Mhm.
For some people, really, really busy people, they think month out. Now, that doesn't mean it's very easy to set an appointment for a month away and have everybody attend, but you're right now building habits of getting in the habit of setting an appointment when we get on the phones, and that was the goal for today, right? So
Mhm.
here's my coaching to Wendy. I would have looked a couple weeks out, Wendy, if you're not feeling well today, or 10 days, however long you think your sickness range is, and I would have still tried to set an appointment. When you are in business building mode, which all of you are in, right? You're not scaling, you're launching, you're creating, maybe some of you are scaling, but there's almost never a bad appointment. Like if they're in your database, you should be meeting with them because they know people in your community, they live in your community, they could become your greatest referral partner. So your next $1 million listing might be a cup of coffee away from a cup of coffee with this lady away, right? And then you also could possibly help her son, right? So I would still try to set the appointment because that was like the goal of the workshop. And that is a good best practice. So notice, who was it? It was Derek, right? What I was going to point out from Derek is like he said, Kirtus, today I was an appointment setting, but he ended the call with the next follow-up action item. Like he ended it with the follow-up. So he said, I wasn't calling to set appointments today. I was calling to send them non-disclosure agreements to market my off market listing. So he still had like an end goal in mind. And like today's end goal was set appointments. So when you start making calls, most of the time your end goal should be to set an appointment or set the next appointment. And so with her, Wendy, what I would have still said is like, hey, and let me ask you a question actually. Do you even think you're going to work on this rental? Is that something you're interested in, like possibly helping with the rental?
If I see something, I'll send it to her for sure. I mean, that's what
So
I did last time, but I'm not actively looking for her for a rental. But if I told her looking at the Facebook page groups was
yeah,
one good thing. There was one other thing with the call too. She was definitely in her car, so
yeah,
I couldn't hear her very well. So it wasn't a
got
good
it.
connection. So I didn't want to keep it going too long because it was hard
Yeah.
to communicate.
So to me, just as I've, and I tried to do it a little bit, gentler here with you, like, because I wanted to let everyone hear all the context, because there's always going to be all the context for all of you on every call, all these things going on, right? But like what I would do in the situation, what I recommend, again, first off, always try and set the appointment. Second off, never be afraid of going too far out on the calendar. You can always adjust. Third, when you read the situation needs to be short, make it short, but don't change your goal. Hey, Wendy, it's Kirtus. Like, oh, I know you're in the car. I can't really hear you that well. It's like a little blurry. Hey, I sent you that listing for your son. You mentioned he had a crazy dog. Like, instead of catching you at a random time, tell me about your schedule. What's your work day like? Where do you live and play? When can we just sit down for a quick cup of coffee? Like, I'm not positive I can help your son, but I want to get to know you. I think I might be able to help him. I definitely want to know more about him. And also, I want you to know more about me and my real estate business. I'm always happy to make new friends in Steamboat. What's your schedule like? Boom. So like it ended in 60 seconds. I didn't even have to go far or deep or wide. It's just like now she gets to tell me straight up, is she interested in sitting down with me or not? And she might say, you know what, Wendy, not now. We're really focused on the search. Like, we only want somebody that's dying to help him. Well, now you have your decision. Am I dying to help him or not? Okay, well, no problem. That's not me. I'll keep things coming your way. And maybe we'll find another time to get together. Do you mind if I invite you to my candle parties that I host once a month? Nope. Okay, cool. Now you have another reason for a call in 2 weeks to invite her to the candle party. So like, I'm always for setting the appointment. In my first year, I might have told the story before, like in my first year in real estate, my good friend reminded me, because I was really good on the phones and I was really good at databases, and I got really picky and I wouldn't always set appointments. And if they weren't buying in the next 90 days, I didn't want to work with them and all these things. And he's like, dude, if you don't go on appointments like all weekend long, you will not sell any houses this year. And I was like, yeah, that's super true. So I remembered early in my sales career, we had this rule of 3. Every day, your goal was to set 3 appointments and go on 3 appointments. Because at first, for like the first $100,000 you're going to make every year, it doesn't matter the quality of the appointments. It's just the fact that you're sitting down with 15 people that's going to get you your 2 closings this month. So that's what it's like in the beginning. It's just a quantity game. Meet with me, meet with me, meet with me, meet with me. It's going to be that for like a couple of years. Then you're a veteran like Skip or Tracy or other people on this call, and you're like, yeah, I typically only meet with people for this reason. I sit down in this situation. I don't need to meet with everybody all the time. I'm going to send you my drip campaign. I'm going to send you emails. We're going to follow up, right? Like, so I think, again, for everybody, set the appointment. Try to set the appointment. Don't worry about the timeout. Don't let the context distract you from your mission. If your mission is make the call, set the appointment, make the call, set the appointment. That's what we were practicing today. So again, it was all love and commending Wendy, all big wins and action items, 12 calls, 1 person, but just like, set it. That's what I would say. And most of the time, again, inviting people is a great way to set an appointment. Like, just invite them to something, and most people drink coffee. Some people like smoothies. Some people like happy hours. Some people like visiting special places that only you know about. And each person's different. But shout out, Wendy. Thank you. Little Q&A. Brad, I see you got a question.
Okay, thank you. You guys are great, by the way.
You're great.
Well, I'm new. I have my first actual sit down with my mentor tomorrow. So I'm just taking all this stuff in right now, and I'm loving it all. So I was at the dentist yesterday, and I'm lying there and got some work getting done. And, I hear a baby crying in the office, and knew the dentist was the female. So I started asking her, I said, that your baby, and she just gave birth. Congratulations, and have a little rapport with her. I know her for about a year now. Needless to say, so I asked her, I said, so your family's growing. Are you, looking to, grow your house as well? So I started to, basically prospect, started asking questions and diving into what her future looks like. And she told me that she's, looking on Zillow right now, but they're probably about a year and a half out. I know her husband's also a dentist. And I know that, after asking certain questions, that one of their parents are living in their house as well. Their family of 2 other children, so I guess a family of 5 currently. So I ended up giving her my business card before the work was actually done in my mouth, because I certainly didn't want to sound too sloppy at the end of it all. So I said, hey, you know what? Look, let's, I just got into this business. You're just looking right now. Let's play together. Send me some information, your email, et cetera, and I'll send you, homes in the area that she's looking at right now. So I kind of built that rapport, but where I'm stuck right now is I have no information on her, right? Except that she's a dentist and I have her name. And I don't want to be forceful. I don't want to over cross that line like I'm jumping at her too quickly. But if there was a scenario or a role play in all this, what would you guys think would be my next move? Would it be I mean, again, I don't even have her email, right? I could probably find that. But again, I don't want to be a stalker either. And I know
Sure.
our business is a little bit of that, right? In a very friendly and nice way, but we certainly want to network and reach out to as many possible people. But I knew that this was an opportunity for me, and the Kickstarter there was the fact that her family's growing, and
Yeah.
and I was able to note that. So where do I go from here? I mean,
Super great question. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Tracy.
so here's what my initial gut says. Look her up on LinkedIn. Okay. I
Yep.
bet you dollars to donuts she's on LinkedIn. Send her a message. Probably on LinkedIn. It probably even has her email address. I think anything that you did other than call her at home, call her on her personal cell would be fine
Right.
and dandy. And
Okay.
here's what I can tell you. If she has the tenacity to be a dentist, working with a brand new baby, she's going to appreciate the initiative very much.
Yeah, and she did. I asked her if she was working
Sure.
with a realtor. She was even telling me, giving me some insights as far as, what her range is. So she's looking for, $1.5 million home.
Right.
But they're looking right now. So, I kind of just made it fun and said, hey, well, let's look together. Let's have some fun, no obligations, and let's see where it goes. And maybe I'll find you such a great deal that you'll jump on it before. And she was all with it, but I still walked away with no contact information, so to speak. So that was my biggest dilemma.
There you
Right.
go. I love it. Let me
Right.
know if that works, Brad. Give me an update
Yeah,
on that.
definitely will. Definitely will. Thank
Brad.
you.
Cool.
Brad, you
Brad, you
can,
got Mike talking to you. Mike, go for it.
Yep.
I'd suggest you already have her telephone number. You had a great conversation with her. Just send her a text follow-up and say, hey, based on our conversation, let me send you a Market Watch newsletter that I can send you, which would be, the Market Watch reports for some of the things that she's looking in, just to give her familiarity, and
Right.
say, but in order for me to do that, in the meantime, you can be seeing some different homes in areas that you might like, but please send me your email so I can start that newsletter for you.
Sounds good, Mike. Great idea.
First off, how bold and brave is Brad ready to be to go get this business with this dentist?
Look, I'm very, very brave.
Perfect.
So I
Okay.
have no problem there.
So here's what you're going to do to go get her phone number. You're going to, depending on your style, you're going to do one of these three, but you're going to bring her something to her office. Okay. That's what you're going to do to go get her phone number. You're going to bring her something. Option A handwritten thank you card. Handwritten thank you card. Thank you for taking care of my teeth. Thanks for giving me confidence in a moment as a new business owner. Thanks for fighting the good fight and raising beautiful kids in this day and age. Whatever you want to write in there, right? Handwritten thank you. Put her name on it. Put your business card again. And the bottom of the handwritten thank you or the back of the business card says, please text me your phone number when you get a chance. I have something really awesome to send you. Okay? You're going to pique her interest. Because if you're going to ask anyone to do work for you, you better give them a reason. They don't have any reason to call you or text you or email you or follow up with you. No offense to business cards, but modern day business cards, not super worthwhile in my opinion. Give them to them, have them. They're helpful, but they're not they're not everything to me. Everything is you make their life easy. And I'll tell you how to do that next time in a minute. So handwritten thank you card is option A. Option B is something for the receptionist. A coffee, a donut, a whatever, and you're going to be like, hey, I know this is a weird conversation probably, but I just saw your dentist and she's fantastic and has kids, and I'm not going to spill her personal business, but we need to chat. Can I get her email or cell phone number? Here's your coffee. And probably she has a business card right there with the cell phone number in it. Or she's walking by, hey, it's me, Brad. I forgot to get your number. Your email is going to send you something, right? Like, you're going to go to the office, bring the admin something, or bring a handwritten thank you. Option C is, if you want to get crazy, you're going to go print off like 2 or 3 awesome $1 million listings that you found. Do not use the easiest ones you can find on Zillow. Go deep in your MLS, find something crazy and awesome, and black out some things with a Sharpie and highlight some things and write some things. And you're going to go get her attention by dropping it off. And you're going to be like, hey, receptionist, I need to get her this folder. She told me something and I want to share it with her. Here's my number. Here's a little post-it that says, please text me today, the best time to call you. So like, who doesn't like getting something? Who doesn't get excited and energized? Who doesn't at least tell their husband, man, this crazy guy that I cleaned his teeth was trying to slobber all over and hand me a business card, and now he's bringing us folders of $1 million listings. Like, maybe we should call this guy. He's serious, right? Like, boom. Yeah. So that's what you're going to go do now. Cool?
Yeah. You're very good. Love
now
it.
Let's back up to go fast. You're never again going to have an interaction like that where you don't say, hey, before I leave, let me shoot you a quick text. What's your phone number? That's it. That's how you get people's phone numbers and emails. Perfect. Moving forward. Hey, before I leave, let me shoot you a quick text. What's your phone number? Then you're going to type it in. This is Brad. Let me type your name and last name into my phone. And if you prefer that I email you something, what email should I send it to? So you're not going to put the work on them, which is what business cards do. Hey, you call me when you need me. Call me when you need me. You're going to do the work for them. Hey, I'll send you a text. Hey, let me email you something right now. What email address do you want me to send that to, right? When you have someone in person, you always get their contact info by adding value to them right then and there, because most people don't want to give you their information unless they think you're going to do something helpful. Cool?
Sounds awesome. Great.
Killer.
If I could hold you up for one thing, I
Yeah.
could use some help or guidance on one of those calls.
Let's go.
So this was an individual that I got introduced to. His listing's about to expire. He already made a commitment to another broker for that listing.
Okay.
So through a friendship type thing, I just offered my services. I met him the other night. And in the meantime, I've been trying to book an appointment to see his property, just to give him some counsel as a friend of market value and things of that nature. In 2 days, haven't been able to get an appointment through his daughter, so I called him directly. He called me back. I, wanted to go through, and he started interrupting me, saying, Mike, I gave my word to somebody and everything else. I said, that's not what this is about. I said, I'm coming as a friend. The house has been on the market for 260 days. Obviously, you're having some sort of issue with it. That's why I want to come see it. I want to be able, I let him know my background with Sotheby's International Realty. I've been a luxury, specialist for 20 years. So from that perspective, I said, I through our friendship and the introduction that I have, want to give you the benefit of that expertise. And maybe there's something that you haven't thought of. And I said, and I'm not looking for your listing. I said, after you meet me and you hear the things I want to say, if you then become open to it, of course, I'd be happy to talk to you about that at that time.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference between, you having the listing? Because in other words, everyone always wants the listing, but if you sell it and you bring me a buyer, you're going to get half the commission anyway. And I said, well, really? So he was expecting me to say, well, then I could sell it both ways, right? And I told him, I said, well, actually, it's the more of the benefit is to you. And he went, excuse me? I said, this other agent, I said, I don't know who he is, but is he a luxury specialist? Does he have the regional and global reach that our company would have? Blah, 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 blah. So I went into some of the positives of the luxury aspect to it. And he says, he goes, yeah, he goes, you said tomorrow you're free. And then, we did it. But now at that point, what I need to do, because I'm brand new with EXP. I did take the certification for the luxury course, so I have that certification. I took that course the other night.
Yeah.
But what I need to do is I need to have those talking points to be able to say why EXP luxury is the way to go. And I want to give them those points to be able to show of how they market this to other agents on a regional and global basis. I want to show them all the other aspects of what the positives are with EXP. And I think when he sees that, because he's not going to have that conversation with his other realtor.
Right.
I already know that. I think he might say, you know, Mike, let me get back to you.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to answer this one. I'm going to give you like a high-level guide, Mike, for how to get the most out of being on the EXP platform. And then I'll try to get like as specific as I can, but I'll also profess, you know, not being extremely educated and connected in the luxury space myself. And I bet it'll work out though in the direction you want it to work out. So here's my guide, and this is applicable to everybody, right? It's the who, not how sort of concept, which is like someone in EXP, Mike, can give you exactly what you're looking for, right? They're going to literally say, here's the sales collateral, or here's the website, or here are the talking points.
Correct.
So what you're looking for is, who do I, Mike, need to reach out to find that person, right?
Correct.
And so I'm going to tell you, I believe that who is Traci Gagnon on this call.
Okay.
And you said Sarah is your sponsor. Is that who? No, was that you who said that? No. Who's your sponsor?
Traci.
I was Ronald. Oh, Traci's your sponsor. You have her cell phone number?
I think so. Yeah, I do.
Text her.
Okay.
Traci, can I grab 10 minutes with you? I need you to point me to a luxury person.
Okay.
And then the other text you should send is, if you already completed the luxury certification, someone at EXP like emailed you or communicated with you on behalf of the luxury program, right? Find that person and say, hey, I need 10 minutes of your time, please.
Okay.
Prior to my listing date, my appointment date.
Okay.
And then all you're doing is asking them for exactly what you need.
Okay.
Hey, I have a really important listing. I need to differentiate EXP from everybody else in the market. Where do I go? What's my marketing material? What's my collateral? Where do I go? And you might have to, you know, this too, Mike. I believe usually it takes about 5 tries to find the right person or resource in the world, right? Like, hey, I got a house and it's got a permit issue. And so I got to call the title company, and then I call the city, and then the city says, call another office. And then that person says, call my boss. And like, boom, by the 4th call, I found the person that can actually like remove the citation or the permit issue or whatever, right? Probably, hopefully it won't take 5, but similar situation here. You text Traci, Traci says, call this person. You call that person says, call this person. Looks like Fish just put Traci's cell phone number there for you. So jot that down, hit her with a text, and then call the other person.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks,
no
Trish.
problem. Yeah, I wish I had like the direct answer, but I think this will teach you how to navigate EXP luxury a little bit, and you'll get the answer you want. And probably.
All right. Thanks, Kirtus.
Cool. You're welcome, man. Good luck.